The Cameroon Youth Assembly, in partnership with Njukang Asom, an entrepreneur and community leader in the USA, have organized the Cameroon Entrepreneurship Fair 2023 at Mountain Hotel in Buea, the southwest region of Cameroon. This talent show brings together over 500 Cameroonians of ages between 18 to 35 to broaden their vision and unleash the potential in them. This fair is in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth and Civic Education and the Ministry of Vocational Training to educate these young people on employability through entrepreneurship and skills development. Several motivational speakers, in their own manner of encouragement to the youth from their own experience, presented words of encouragement to the young people.
My task of this morning was to talk about women in entrepreneurship and leadership. Looking at my audience, I can see wonderful faces, brilliant faces of young Cameroonians, boys, girls, women, men, sitting attentively to listen to this crew of speakers. And today, I want to tell you, young ladies and gentlemen, that after making a 1, 2, 3 journeys around the world, I came to realize a common denominator around that there is, and our common denominator that defines all countries, that defines all homes, that defines all society is a program of society. Our society has programmed us to reason in a particular way. And here come the 21st century, which you have to take the driver's seat of your own personal car. She had the passion, she had the burning passion to become something she could not define. And she did not even have the 500 francs to start a little business. And so the sister gave her 500 francs to sell bonbon, primary 6. She sold that bonbon for 1 year and had 1,200 francs. Presented it to the sister. Sister, this is what I have worked for this year. The sister said, oh, this, congratulations, this is good. Keep on. She went to secondary school. Why she moved to secondary school? She said, no, I'm in secondary school, I'm not wearing my uniform. I can now start something big. And so she decided to fry Accra beans. She fried Accra beans 4 times. And these were the characteristics of the Accra beans. Very first time, too much pepper. Second time, too much salt. Third time, watery. And the fourth time, the Accra got flat in the oil. And she said, no, I will go on and fry the flour pop-off. She did the same and failed. She said, no, my mother used to cook koki. Let me cook the koki with her. She cooked the koki, and the day the mother will not be there, her koki will not come out well formed. She went up to university in 1999. Once in university, she got married in 2000, had her first child in 2001. Please follow my story. This is the story of the little girl. In 2001, she has her first baby, got married, and the marriage was tough. She started doing odd things. What can I do to add value to myself? She said, okay, let me fry chips. She started frying chips and keeping in shops in Monaco. Chips for 1, 2, she would give at the end of the day, collect 1,000. So the storekeeper keeps the 200. When she comes back with the 1,000, she will account that she has profited 200. She could keep chips to 5 different stores. So she would have 1,000 francs a week. She kept on. In 2000, she said, no, let me go on and work some tomato farm. The British College, if you know the British College alongside Newby, that British College is standing on her farm. That's exactly where she was working that farm. She harvested the first product of her farm and sold it, and it was 105,000. And she bought her first marital television for 105,000 and kept it in the home. That passion kept on burning. And by 2002, she graduated from the university. She said, okay, it's high time for me, I can do something better. Yet life was not going easy. She contacted someone and said, can I use your documentation and be working just part-time time? And the person said yes, and she was put on a salary of 25,000. She worked there for 2 years. After that, she had gathered small money, and she bought her small photocopier as this table, this case like this. She put in front of UP Junction. After 5 years, she realized that she needed something bigger to transfer into a shop. Once in that shop, she developed for 15 years and said, no, that passion is still there. What can I do more? She went out and said, no, I want to open a school. What type of school can I do? In her various universities, she got a degree in microbiology. She said, it's not something I can continue. Let me have something I'll be passionate doing. And so when she went to the Ministry of Higher Education, she asked for departments like clothing and textile, food processing, engineering, nursing, building and construction. And the minister said, the people are used to this business field, history, economics. Why do you choose this field? She said, no, Your Excellency, I am passionate doing something. I want to transform youth so that by the end of the day, they should be able to do something with the fruit of their hands. And who is that little baby? Who is that little baby? That is me. Oh yes.
Then, from Blaise Eyong, a multimedia journalist, enlightened the aspiring entrepreneurs from his own experience and suggests that no one should afford to be ordinary but excellent.
Do I want to become a nurse? Do I want to become a doctor, a journalist? The next step, you have to weigh and see the kind of person. There's so many journalists, right? However, I choose that I was not going to be ordinary. That I was not going to be ordinary. Depending on what you want to become, you have to choose that you're not going to be ordinary. Ordinary people cannot make enough money. Ordinary people cannot be famous. Life is not to become famous. However, you should be so good at what you do to a point where a lot of people use you as reference. If we talk, for example, about comedy, we all know our MC. He's very good. I always tell him that you don't laugh at his jokes because you're Cameroonian. You're not laughing because you want to support your own. Because he's actually very good. That's the standard you have to set for yourself. You cannot be ordinary. You cannot be average. You cannot afford to be average. No, you cannot. You have to be super good. And you have to keep going even when no one is clapping for you. Where I grew up in Fiango. My mother passed away when I was 10 in Guti, so I moved with my aunts. And I stayed in Kumba, and we stayed in Hausa quarters. For those of you that are from Kumba, I guess because we are everywhere, people from Kumba. I know if, a lot of people from Kumba will be here. If you know Hausa quarters, that's where I grew up. I grew up in the midst of violence, and I was violent myself. So you look around and there's no inspiration, but you have to inspire yourself. That's the point I'm making. I grew up where you would turn around, you would not see a house that has a gate. You turn around, you would see someone that has a car, but he's probably a disciplined master somewhere. It's an old car or something. So there's nothing to inspire you, you get. There's nothing. However, you have to inspire yourself. You have to be better. You have to ask yourself, what do I want to become? How do I achieve that? Even when there's no one clapping for me.
Also, another powerful word of encouragement from the CEO of Ice House Entrepreneur. Ask them what they are doing to be the entrepreneurs they want to be.
And I will encourage you guys. I know our country is a hard nut to crack, you know. A lot of limited resources, but there is something common among each and every one of us here. A lot of you don't work, but you have expensive phones, you know. our advice, don't use these phones for the wrong reasons. It's a lot of information on the internet, but sometimes we prefer to prioritize things that will make people laugh, things to bring people down, things to humiliate our friends. That's what we share. We don't share the right information, and it's pathetic. So let's deviate from that, please. I was talking to someone that I'm moving back to Cameroon, and he looked at me like I'm crazy. That's okay, because he can see my vision. I am the only one who sees what I'm heading for. And someday, somehow, sometime, he will want to move back to Cameroon, that I believe. A lot of you guys here have, what is hindering progress in Cameroon, I believe, it's our mindset. A lot of you want to be business entrepreneurs. Who wants to be an entrepreneur? Please just raise your hand. What kind of business are you trying to get into? You see? Who else? What kind of business are you trying to get into?
Catering.
Okay, do you have a business plan? Where is it? You see, you are coming to an event where you network, you meet people who are willing to support you. You are not ready. You want to be a businesswoman, but you are not ready. If that idea stays in here, then it's nothing. Pen that down. Look at the people around you. I love cooking. You want to be a caterer. I didn't just pick you by, that was God's way of saying, this man can help you. But you don't have a business plan. How do I go? You see? So this is what I'm saying. Whatever ideas you have in your head, don't think the market is too saturated. The market might be saturated, but that market does not have a you. You are your own person. Having multiple same businesses shouldn't be a reason for hatred, because competition, it's a catalyst for improvement. If you have a catering business, she has a catering business, how do you beat it? Don't hate, improve.
On the part of Njukang Asong, he inquires if the youth know what entrepreneurship means and asks them to be daring to make calculated risks.
What is entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship to me is identifying a problem, coming up with solutions to remedy the problem, and then leverage it to the community.
Excellent. You just won the prize of 10,000 francs. I had a good job Monday through Friday. I was doing fine. But after 4 p.m., what do? I'm on social media. I was watching shows from Prison Break to Venkato, all sorts of things. I had a comfortable life. But somebody said, you're only going to make money depending on what you do with your time after 4 p.m., between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. All of you sitting in here are going to school. What are you doing different? In between your courses, what do you do? When you leave school and you go at home, what do you do? Are you in beer palace? Everybody has been to school Monday through Friday, and on Saturday and Sunday you're supposed to chill like everybody else. What do you do on Saturday and Sunday when you're not supposed to work, when you're not supposed to go to school? That is what is going to distinguish you between you making it or you not making it, because you must put in extra work. So I started doing research. I started working, and then before I knew, I became a tax professional. Started doing taxes, and before I knew it, it was crazy. I was making some good money. The money that I made in 1 year in government, I made it in 3 months doing taxes. And that was the first time I was like, yo, entrepreneurship is something. Can you imagine? You are working for EcoBank, and then you start doing makeup part-time, and you put your salary together for EcoBank, you make that same money for makeup in 3 months. Only produce what you take in. If you listen to crazy talk all day, you're going to talk crazy talk. If you feed yourself with entrepreneurship, with history, with public policy, you're going to speak that. So reading is important. So there's this story, the grandma and the boy. The boy came to the grandma and said, "Grandma, how do I succeed in life?" The grandma looked at the boy and said, "Let me tell you a story, young man. You're standing right here, and that there was this man, and this man had 2 wolves in him." And the boy was like, "Wolves? How can wolves be in a human being?" And the grandma said, "Hold on. But there was these 2 wolves in a man, and there was one wolf saying that, you know, you are not good in math, but you can become an IT professional. You're not good in physics. You're not good in grammar, but if you work hard, if you learn, if you study, if you are daring, you can become an entrepreneur. You can pass an exam and go and become a good public servant. You can walk into UNESCO and say, you know what, I want to join your institution and work hard and be like my brother sitting right there." One wolf kept telling you all the things that you had to do right, but all you needed to do was to work hard. You know, all the excuses that, you know, I'm not good in Excel, I'm not good in math, I'm not good in literature, I don't know if I can make it. Then there's another wolf in the guy that was saying that, you know what, forget about being an entrepreneur. You were the worst person in math. You were the worst. You barely know numbers. What do you want to do? Just resign to something else. Do history, do political science or whatever. Do sociology. Not that it's bad, but you know, you actually wanted to be an entrepreneur. There's another person saying that, you know what, don't even sweat it. Forget about journalism. You're not good looking. You are not a model. You know, your grammar is not too good. You don't even know French. Actually, I had one of those rules when I was in Iraq. I barely knew French, and I was sitting in class with a French professor with 30 French students. When they gave an exam, I didn't even know what that exam meant. I had a friend that was English speaking, and I'll take my paper and I'll go to the whoever was supervising the exam and say, "Please, can she translate it for me?" And she'll do it for me in 2 seconds, and I take it back home. I take it back to my desk. The second exam came, I woke up, the entire class started laughing. They said, "So what are you doing here?" I said, "I'm here to study like you guys." Out of 27 of us in the first year, 25 of us moved on to the second year, and I did not repeat. Because I'll read in French, and I'll take that same French, type it in Google, and I'll study in English. You've used Google Translation before, you know how horrible it could be. So they would take 2 hours to study. I had to study 4 hours in a week, in French and in English. And by the second year, I was just as good as everyone else in the class. But I had that same wolf in me that said, you know what, don't worry about it. You don't know nothing in French. You grew up in Bamenda, you grew up in Buea. You have no place in the French society. And then, so the mom said, you have this wolf telling you can do everything you can. You have another wolf telling you that you are not good enough. You cannot do everything you can. Just focus. And because your parents do not have money, that's fine. You're just going to be like that. You can never change your trajectory. And then the grandma sat quiet. So the boy looked at the grandma and said, "But grandma, so what is success again? You haven't really answered my question." The grandma looked at the boy and said, "It's the voice you listen to. It's the voice you listen to. How do you succeed in life? It's the voice in you that you listen to. Do you want to listen to the voice that says you cannot do anything? You are not good enough. You're not intelligent enough. You're not beautiful enough. Your parents had no money. Or you want to listen to the voice that says, I am going to be the first to change that history in my family. You want to listen to the voice that says, you know what, I may not know math, but I'm going to be the best banker this country has ever seen. I may not know how to speak English, but I'm going to get into public service and become the best and good politician that this country has seen. It is the voice you listen to. So I ask all of you, listen to the better angels in you. You guys can be anything you want. You can be anything you want. And will never forget putting Christ in your life. Because, as they say, the scripture says, we can achieve anything possible through Him who gives us strength. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
In Dr. Vivanje's presentation, he asked the youth to pitch themselves in a manner which can captivate a listener.
We live our lives on a regular routine, but we avoid differentiation. UNESCO is the leading organization for technical, vocational, and educational training. That's TVET, we call it TVET, in the world, and where we enhance and encourage skills. It's rather unfortunate we're operating in a society, Cameroon, whereby even when we were growing up until now, the narrative is just gradually changing and shifting. Back then, when we were getting into school, success, SECA, and all the rest, we knew we were the most intelligent ones, and those going to GCC, GCHS were the dull ones. That was the impression our parents gave to us, and the state enhanced that impression. So, till date, that narrative has not so much shifted. But I want to shock you, those of us who went to all these schools, we are the standard dull ones in society. Because they just teach you to go memorize concepts, replicate them, and they hate you. Meanwhile, those who go to these technical schools are those who think out of the box, those who create solutions, those who solve problems, those who make life very easy for us. But unfortunately, society has looked down on these persons. And you realize, it can tell you how many of those schools we find. We have so many grammar schools, but how many technical schools do we have? Very few. In Japan, you find children on their assignments in secondary schools building laptops, but here even a university student in computer engineering cannot even attempt to start the process. But that's an assignment for a child in Japan who is in a secondary school. So, I'm not blaming us, but I'm trying to wake us from that reality and telling us, like all the speakers have rightly said, the difference is just us. So many things have been said. What do you do with your spare time? I see so many persons spare time, they are TikToking, they are this, they are that. People are crying and suffering, the country is hard, the crisis. Yes. Do you know the word crisis means in China? In the Chinese language, crisis means opportunity. If you see a group of persons crying, another person is just studying and looking at them. If they are crying, I think they will need some handkerchief or lettuce to wipe their eyes. He's not bothered about the crying. He finds a way to ensure he makes money from their crying. But here we'll find ourselves soaking ourselves into the problem, crying, and there are so many opportunities. So many opportunities. This is our own very own Aunty Felicia. 3 years ago, nobody knew of that. Oh, thank you so much. 1 year, like we were discussing yesterday. 14 months precisely. 14 months ago. But he is more famous even than the Secretary General of the United Nations.
The young entrepreneurs were entertained to a powerful hymn from witty minstrel. We are proud of who we are, to the excitement of all in the hall.
Can we dance together? Thank you. Let's dance. Hey. Everybody feeling the light, and each time I talk to my island, I think make them feel so excited. And each time I feel it reject, together, can't see this, one for me, I will I walk. Where's the one for the way? Where's the duty, where's the touchy, where's the one for the way? Together, can't see this, one for me, I will I walk. There's a way for the we proud
Now, so everybody feeling the nakama, really must have been like that. Some boy back in the day, when they came back in Kimibi, when they made who the Milan Alpha, this are the Pusana and December. Maricana Kupona, Jackate Kupa. Hey, one so I may you need to be sang. Jim Sanga, you give us the fun. And now we'll make it fun. This is what we sang. One so I may you need to be sang. Jim Sanga, you give us the fun. And now we'll make it fun. This is what, hey.
The stakeholders made a tour to visit the stands of the entrepreneurs within the Southwest region who made their presence felt as they came in to exhibit and express their capabilities. It was not only an opportunity to exhibit but also to participate in the contest for being the best in the skills and products they exhibit, and also awards given to some startup entrepreneurs for the best projects presented.
But this is a Cameroonian guy in Maryland doing Dr. Pepper and selling on Amazon. And selling on Amazon. And you can imagine that. You know, this is a platform where you have about, what, billions of people on there. So I'm going to promise you that I'm going to put you in contact with him. Okay? Let's see how we can get this product on Amazon. Okay? So that is going to be my responsibility to you, number one. But number two is, you got to be careful about growth. Because scalability can actually break you. That's why at times before you promote something, be ready that you have the bandwidth to carry. So while I'm thinking on how do I pitch you to this guy to help you and walk you through to get you on Amazon, what if you get on Amazon and you have 2 million orders? That's the assignment for you to think about, okay? Excellent job, sir.
The inspiration behind this product is the fact that many of us still crave to consume pap, but are scared of the hygiene behind the production. So that's where I got my inspiration. I turned the powder pap, I turned the normal pap to powder. That's killing the smell and making it 100% hygiene for consumption. And it didn't only end there. How can I innovate the product? I then came up with the pap mix. In this packet, we have maize, we have banana, we have apples, and we have yogurt. This is not flavored, it's actually mixed with the fruits. That's one. We have the soya beans and pap in this. We have coconut and pap in this. And we have milk. Many people want to consume pap and put milk in it, and sometimes people are not up to the task of affording both. So I bring everything into one package to make it easy for everybody.
How much you sell?
I sell a packet of this. I put that on social media, and I do one-to-one awareness. I visit the health sectors and hospitals.
You see the machine over there. That's the Flora website that was built for an event in Nimble. It was built with enhanced features in it. And they did some little modifications in which maybe participants of that particular event could go in, register online, book their event, showcase their products online. So that's the basic idea about the website that is.
So the students built this website?
These are degree students of computer software engineering. There you have Michelle, and you have the lady behind. That's Innocencia. Those are the two represented. They built this website on their own.
That is wonderful.
Yes.
you definitely want to email TOC. Because all of those guys are crazy IT.
Is the same dress made the dress?
Yes, this fashion design students made the dress.
All right.
And it's a dress, all of them.
Yeah, I don't have a question, I just have a recommendation. Next time we have an opportunity to pitch or share your ideas, have someone, one of the students to wear it. It's better when it's the yes, it's better when someone is wearing it, human being is wearing. So you know, this lady can see how it fits and everything. But I think it looks good.
What this project is all about.
CAMEROON Afro Gospel Choir. We are a professional choral group here based in Buea. So we started some time ago in 2016. You know, the crisis, the troubles that we face brought forth a longing to be able to do music in a different way. The choral landscape in Cameroon has been marked with a lot of mediocrity. So the vision was born in order to revamp how people see choral music in Cameroon. It's no news that choirs make money in Ghana, in Nigeria, in South Africa, and Cameroon could be the same. So we started this vision. The CEO is not here today because he's busy at work. So this vision was born out of that desire. Choristers are admitted here based on merit, yes. And every year the choir organizes auditions and call for people to come in. So most of the choristers you see here are experienced singers. Some of them are music directors in their churches and other groups. And when we come together, the ideal is to bring together music that is soothing and healing. Thank you.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. And I hear the Afro choir.
Yeah, the CAMEROON Afro Gospel Choir.
So I'm listening between Afro and choir, and I'm thinking about Afrobeat. So you guys, you know, so it's a different kind of genre.
So one of the major aims of the choir too is to be able to do our traditional songs that we know in a different way, to make it soothing to even the Western ears. Because we will have the song sung in our traditional village meetings and groups. Maybe but when CAG does some of these, we have a way we do them that we can be able to market them out of Cameroon. So are
you guys producing a CD or you just do concerts?
One CD titled Jordan. That was released in 2018.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yep.
I am Yomi Bruna, the CEO of Mama B Fashion, and I've been in existence for 2 years professionally. And the value which I bring into the market first is promoting Africa through our accessories. Like you might dress in your t-shirt and you complement it with an African accessory, which makes you look unique. And also my main aim is recycling. Like I said, we recycle chains, we recycle earrings, recycle beads to produce unique accessories. And over time, we have really grown greatly. Like during the AFCON, we were able to produce 50 pairs of shoes for the AFCON based on an order from a hotel. And over time too, our market size, be it online or social media too, has increased, and we've been able to train close to 20 young people who have been able to start up their businesses, and also we are ready to train more people so that we can be able to grow, to be able to sponsor, to be able to project Cameroon through our accessories, not just here but all over Africa and in the diaspora.
An event of this magnitude, a rare germ, is an effort to encourage the young Cameroonians not to seek jobs after their education,